then we will go on police station and soldier by.
Now then you and who na him been dey talk this thing wey na say na we do am. How many of you na wan comot for the protest go bonbon?
Na only me do am.
Ah, na lie. You must get boys with you wey be say you na don't know say you know say after I watch the video you talk say men must dey active and men must fall out. So those men wey go fall out now I wan know.
No, I just do am because of.
You no wan tell me now,
no,
abi?
I do am because of others. Because of.
You go tell me all the people wey na dey plan to go burn station and all this thing.
My friend called me that, do I know that this thing I post will implicate me?
So you don't
I
implicate
said,
you.
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But he's still there now.
No, I can't say yes, waiting you talk now true. Immediately, I go my TikTok account, deleted the video.
But it's already circulating now.
Yes, sir. That's why, but me, I didn't do it.
You will tell us all the people will be saying that they plan to go burn. You will tell me. Don't worry.
Nuisance, Lele.
Person we're supposed just take to a shrink or somebody to look into his mental state. And there are many Nigerians who are suffering from that too. And police should be able to actually tell that this is not normal. But they were able to track him. They tracked him, they got him. And a lot of us actually believe that it is also part of the APC propaganda. So that they can say something and say, oh, that person said he was going to burn police station. He's going to burn this and he's going to burn that. So the best is that if any of them says they want to burn this or that, they are the anarchists, Abi. So go and pick them up and stop them from doing that. Don't shoot and kill protesters, Abi. Here is a FOWLESE. FOWLESE was on channels with Sheung, where he was defending Tinubu. It is one of the most ridiculous TV interview I have seen. Or maybe one of them, yes. It is not the most ridiculous, but one of them. So let's start with this one. Were you expecting Tinubu to come and perform magic? That's this one.
That in the last 1 year, our nation is not on the right trajectory. The APC will defend the government of the day to say they are taking tough decisions. In fact, the president, Bola Tinubu, earlier this evening. Let's begin the conversation tonight. And you, as a former governor, when you hear, it does look like a democratic drums of war in the sense that when the people are agitated, those who are the critical mass are saying they are hungry and they are going to march the street. In your own mind, what does this bring up? Is this the ineptitude of government, incapacity of the government, or what exactly do you think this could bring up?
Well, so thank you once again. And let me tell you again that I speak for myself. I speak for those who believe in my judgment and my opinion. And I stand here to say that before now, I have spoken for Nigerians. I have taken very hard positions that even cost me a lot in my life. But by God's grace, at over 60, we are statesmen. We will not look away and allow this country to go down. Already we're in critical situation, very critical. And let me give you an illustration. This illustration will help us very well. When an aircraft is to land, and at some point there's an emergency, there are certain levels that the aircraft wouldn't have gone for the aircraft to fly back, to climb back. Otherwise, the aircraft will crash. I pray Nigeria will not crash. With government and the protesters, let us exercise a lot of restraint. Nobody, well, I won't say nobody. At my time as governor of Ekiti, I was one of the vocal people that was able to put government in check. But there was no time I called out people to go and do the things that can bring the country down. One, we need to be very careful. We are in a critical stage of our life. One, it is unfortunate that things are not easy the way they are now. The economy is not the way it should be. And the situation with the ordinary man too is not easy. But let us ask ourselves, is this all about the government? No. In many places, a lot of people will take one way. Is that the government? A lot of people will go and form their own kidnapping. Is that government? When there is rain, people will take the things that they've gathered for the pain. They go and pour it inside the water, inside the rain. Is that government? We are all guilty. We should go back to the drawing board and readdress ourselves as a nation. Hunger didn't start one day. This hunger started long time. That was why they had a rally at the time. They said Jonathan must go. Jonathan left. That hunger did not stop. Buhari came. I spoke to power. Buhari spent 8 years. Nobody said one thing. I didn't remember any rally. I didn't remember during Buhari's regime. Buhari did all he had to do. When I left office, dollar was less than 300. And when you look at the ratio when Buhari was leaving, it has gone up. Nobody held Buhari to ransom until the day he left. Nobody. The simple reason is this. A gentleman and a man who does not talk. When you go out, look at what they went to do at Lekki. I want to appeal to all of us. Let us be very, very careful.
So, I mean,
you see,
Nuisance, Lele.
Another warning. Another warning. Everyone is telling you how bad it's going to be. How this is going to be. And all that stuff. And Fayose is not left out. And mind you, there is more. Right? Here.
that in the last 1 year, our nation is not on the right trajectory. The APC will defend the government of the day to say they are taking tough decisions. In fact, the president, Bola Tinubu, earlier on, in some of the earlier speeches that he made, he had warned that it's going to take some very tough decisions. These policies will be sometimes painful, like the pains of childbirth. A lot of people will remember those statements. But there are those who say, look, this pain is getting too much. You look at the price of commodities. They are really high. These are the things that pertain to the average person. The price of gari, the price of agbado, the price of momo, the price of tomato in the market. These are the things that pertain to the average and the poor of our nation. And you are saying they should be calm. How calm could they be? How else could they express themselves when they say they're going to the streets to demand good governance in their country, Governor Fayose?
So I'm not saying people should not go and protest. Protest is legitimate. But just before I go to this issue of protest, there is no man. I said it again, I speak for myself. I'm not a member of their party. I will never be a member of APC. If I don't do politics again, I will stay in my house. Which man can turn this country around in 1 year? Let us leave APC, PDP. Which man?
But are they doing the right thing? I agree that they may not be able to turn it around in 1 year. Yes, governance is not magic. But the question is that if they're on the right track, wouldn't everyone know, Governor Fayose?
May I say to you, I am not going to be here to watch brief for anybody. The moment your finances are so bad, it is difficult to pick them from the dustbin. Today, it is not easy to return Nigeria to the original or turn around the situation so easily. And I mean what I'm saying. It doesn't matter if we protest. It's good to protest. When you protest, you come back to find the situation the same. That was what I was going to talk about. A Jonathan is not good. A Buhari is not good. And Asiwaju is not good. Then there is a fundamental problem we all have to address. This is beyond an Asiwaju or Tinubu to come and do miracle. Then Jonathan was said to be the worst leader Nigeria ever had. A Buhari was then the worst of the worst. Then an Asiwaju is the worst. I mean, then we have to invite God from heaven to come and turn around things. So I have been on the saddle for 8 years. When the labor leaders in Ekiti, when they were asking me, when it was impossible, they went on strike. I explained. When I couldn't explain, I joined them in the strike. I had to join them. Every allocation that comes, I give it to them. Go and appropriate. People can go to the street, but don't let those that will hijack this protest turn it to where people will now imagine you want to take government from Ashwaju. The perception now is there that is a coup.
Really? Is that what is going on?
That is the perception everywhere. That now they are giving an impression that they want to use this coup for military to come in. If you are not hearing things, we're on the ground. We are yes to the ground. And there's no government that will allow them to come and torpedo his own government. It is good that Ashwadi himself had admitted that protest is good. But the people protesting should remember the consequences if the way they are politicizing it. In Kenya is a small country. There is no Muslim, Christian dichotomy there. There is no North-South dichotomy. If people are copying Kenya, they must be careful. Then a lot of people having business, should we call it watch out, before they start looting. It happened in South Africa before. The consequences of a celebrated issues like this, they end up in people beginning to imagine that there's a coup, or they want to play a coup, and there's no leader that will allow himself, his leadership to be taken by force.
I mean, if there are coup mongers in our country today, one will think that that is an archaic, that's a very bizarre...
You cannot tell the wicked man how he's going to go about it.
We are too civilized in this country of today, the modern Nigeria, for any military man to think that the right thing to do is to torpedo a government after 20-something years of us returning to this Fourth Republic. I mean, what would make any right-thinking military man think that he will want to take over power? Does that make sense?
The military has not said they want to take over power, and we have not seen signs. But when people begin to take steps, begin to do things that is suggestive of a system that wants to take power from a legitimate government, Nigeria cannot go back home. I feel sad that things are not easy for us, but this is not an option. Rally, protest, fantastic. But you know people, the moment they get on the street, it will be a different story. No government will fold his arms and allow looting. No government will allow itself for people to take over the whole system of their...
Nuisance lele.
Olórí burúkú ni Fayose. Olè. FOWLESE. Because you know something? All of that is said, they were the things they've created in their head. I have told you this many times, and I'll say it again and again and again. The reason why they are creating all these scenarios is that they know that the moment you hit their streets, they are exposed. They have no plan of fixing anything. Do you understand? Their economic policy is about borrowing money and sharing money. Borrowing money and sharing food. That is their economic policy. So if they tell you they are doing reform, this, no. Don't believe that nonsense, man. Come on. But they know the moment you hit the streets, they would have to give you more than just words. So that's why they continue to say, if you hit the streets and we decided not to do what you want, and people begin to riot, they are creating all those scenarios. And you know the saddest thing is that these guys are creating scenarios that is yet to happen. Now that they are creating the scenario, they don't have the capacity to create the scenario on how to control that. So it is just a 2 days too. Abobaku Umidada. I know that except for the fact that you are praying, say, make this thing hold. You have no power to stop it. Do you know that? You do not have that power. It has already started, in case if you don't know. Those who are making mouth, they are beginning to beg. Who invited military? Internal security is the responsibility of Who? The police. But Tinubu invited military. Now, Tinubu has exposed Nigeria because he believes that asking for good government is asking him to, asking for good government is an attempt to overthrow him. Do you even understand how effed up that is? That your government or your president is scared because you're asking for good governance. He's so scared that he believes that asking for good governance means you want to remove him. And right now, he has nothing to give to you. He has withdrawn all these soldiers from the war front to those ones where they play defensive game with the Boko Haram and all these terrorists. Now they have brought them back into town. Who brought them back? Why not your policemen? So you brought the military back, those who have suffered in the Sambisa, not paid, or poorly paid. Those who have lost their loved ones, their friends as well. So the cold hand of the Fulani terrorist, Boko Haram terrorist. You didn't pay them. Now, suddenly, you have not given them boots. You've not given them uniform. Since 2019, Nigerian soldiers have none of this. They have to buy all of that themselves. Now, those ones that are facing the shooting and all this barrage of shooting from the terrorists, you have withdrawn them and brought them into Abuja. Now, they will see all of you and your cars. They will see all the opulence. They will see that, these are the people we are protecting, Abi. So if you now mistakenly, your untrained police or policemen shoot and kill a protester, so are you not the one who has invited the military to come and take over? Fayoshe, Nikure. But he said more to the northern Nigerians. Una be the problem. He said the northerners were they were giving birth to too much kids. Along. Now the north, they are more crazier as we speak.
Governor Fayoshe, what would you say? It's a difficult time in the country today. And there are a lot of people, perhaps, who don't even have hope of what to eat tonight. As your final word on the program, what would you say is a way forward? What do you think the government should do to alleviate the suffering of the many, many millions of Nigerians who tonight are looking for hope?
Let me say this. Maybe this will now be a better way to represent my mind. I went to one state in the north, and I don't want to mention the name of that state. I was there for 3 days. In the course of my stay, I got familiar with people in that part of the government house that I stayed. So I sat outside and we started speaking to one or two people. And the gate man told me, he said, how long have you been in government work? He said he has spent 26 years. So I said, good. What is your salary? He said, Mikida, kudi small. I said, how much? He said, it's 34,000. I said, how many children do you have? He said, he has 16. How many wives? He says 4. My brother, problem is inside, Because, for God's sake, if somebody is earning 35,000, what can government do with 17 children? We don't want to be realistic. Another person said he has 8 children, 3 wives, and one of his wives is still expecting. They don't have to be done with our people too. Because when you have children, you go into government. A government that is struggling to survive. It's difficult. When you're asking me, what will I say to them? What will I say to a man who has 17 wives?
All right,
17 children for our 4 wives? Yeah. Yes.
We must sincerely thank you for your time tonight. I appreciate it. That's the former governor.
What do you want me to say? Let me give you this illustration. In northern Nigeria, they have too many children, but they don't have money. Do you know something? We have accepted a very, very terrible sort of a narrative, especially those of us from outside the north. We did not actually pay attention to the systemic decline in people's fortune. which possibly led to some of them having more and more children. In northern Nigeria, they are farmers too. And in the last 20 years, there has been a massive decline in the fortune of the northerners themselves due to the terrorism in northern Nigeria, where majority have resorted into begging too. Now, I'm saying this because if you look at the numbers of displaced people in northern Nigeria today, including farmers, you will see among them those who have families, who have children, who had their farms, who had everything going for them until the terrorists struck, and the number has sort of added them now and their children to the basket of the poor people. They were not rich, they were not poor. Now, the system is not helping them, but blaming them. So we've accepted that. They born too much. I agree. And the North believe that it shouldn't be coming from the mouth of a Fayoshe. Here is one of the stuff he said too before he left, okay? Listen to this one.
As a benefit of someone who has been in government for 8 years, perhaps we know if there are signals of performance of a government. Can you tell Nigerians if, in your own sense, you can feel, you can see any sign of performance or delivery of this government based on its promises to the Nigerian people? Can you see, can you feel, what can you, leave the fact that your friend is the FCT minister, and I know you will speak good about what he's done in the FCT. But what else do you think that this government has done for the interest of the Nigerian people that can be a solace for them to have hope?
There's no government that will have 100%. There is a build-up before you say, I am hungry. And there's a build-up before you say, I am in hunger. These are issues from the past till today. Boko Haram did not start today. Herdsmen did not start today. People not going to the farm did not start today. There must be a line between reality and fake. If we want to be reasonable, fine. You see, APC may not have done well. PDP may not have done well, but has we Nigerians done well? That's a question. Everybody is culpable. In the instance case, over 90% of Nigerians are playing one prank or the other. So coming to blame overnight a government, you will see that if this protest is left open-ended, the consequences will be too far-reaching for any government to curtail. Because looting, a lot of boys on the street wants to loot. That's the agenda. I had somebody who said, who was working with me in my yard, saying, some people said it is time that we are going to break stores in Surulere, in so many places. When they break stores, closes. Except they want to guarantee that these things, they will be careful.
But do you think if you are conversing that there must be caution on the side of the Nigerian people about going to the street to protest against the government of the day? What would you rather have them done to make their grievances known to the government, whom they are thinking that they are far less than what they think that they should have done for them?
So let me clearly say this. This protest is good for government to be called to order in whichever way. But if they tell us we are going to stay at Fajuyi Park in Ado-Ekiti and make our grievances known, perfect. But when you take to the streets, when you begin to rob, when you get uncontrollable, there's no government that will keep quiet. I'm very serious. You see, governors don't have power to call police, to call military, you see come back and blame that government to say you look the way this happened.
But does this government, Colonel Fayoshe, look like a government that is listening? Is this government listening to the people? Is the government listening to the people?
You are a journalist. You are a journalist. I am speaking as a Nigerian and as a politician. I have nowhere to run. I am telling you, the protesters can protest. They must have a face. You can be threatening government and say, we are protesting. We don't have faith. We don't know you. IG said, come. If it's truly you believe it's your right, come. Say, we are protesting. If you go to Ojota at Kanifawemi Park, stay there and protest. But if you let loose,
Nuisance lele.
Because they are scared. They are scared. So they want to control you, or so they want to keep you oppressed, keep the leech on. And if you tell them that, no, we are going to do it our way. No. What if you change your mind and you decided to come to our homes? I don't have anywhere to run to again.